Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at WMNH953@gmail.com or through our website at WMNHradio.org.
Water.
Hey everybody, welcome. Here we go. It is that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Tuesday, June 6, 2023. So nice to have you all with me on this glorious Tuesday afternoon. Now, on today's program, there's an air of unpredictability here because, well, so it relates to an event that's happening tonight. So tonight, right here in Manchester, there's an event at Jewel Nightclub. I believe, now, what I'm looking at says something different than what I thought. I believe doors open at 6 p.m. It's an early show, 6 p.m. doors, and the show starts at 7, from what I was told. And we might have, in the second hour, around 5 p.m. Now, I say this tentatively because there are some difficult logistics to all of this. Not for me. My part's easy. I just have to sit here. I'm here 4 to 6 p.m. I'm in this seat. So the logistics is not difficult for me. But for some of the folks who may want to come in, pop in on the show, or even just call in and promote the big show coming up tonight, for them, the logistics might be difficult because this is a big show and it might be, it's a national act that's coming through. So I've kind of left it up to everybody, join us if you want to, if you can. But I do know the tentative plan is William from the band Sepsiss, and perhaps other members of Sepsiss as well, if they can. They're going to try to come in studio around 5 o'clock today. So as we enter the second hour, numero dos, they're gonna come in. That's the tentative plan, I believe. So again, won't hold them to it. If it doesn't work out, I understand. It's an early show, therefore it's an early load-in. And if you don't know, although even if you don't know, you can probably guess from the term load-in. That's where the bands load in all their equipment, all their gear. It's a bunch of bands playing. It's a big deal. So, but like I said, it's early because it's, I assume because it's a Tuesday, so it's an early show. So, so if they can't work it out logistically, no hard feelings whatsoever. Believe me, I'll completely understand. So we'll see what happens. I've also let a couple people know that if they want to call into the show to plug the show tonight, they're welcome to as well. So we'll see, but hopefully in the second hour, we do get to see at least William, and we'll see who else from the band Sepsiss, and perhaps even somebody from the headlining act tonight. We'll see. That is all tentative. But again, there is an air of unpredictability about today's show, so we'll see what happens. And hey, even if none of that happens, and again, I will completely understand because I know the logistics of it all are challenging for them because of the timing. And believe me, from my own experience, both doing shows and as a performer and as a promoter, I believe me, it's not, none of it is as simple as it looks ever. And it's not all glitz and glamour. That's quite for sure. No, there's a lot that goes into it and a lot of nuts and bolts. So I'm not holding anybody to anything. We will see what happens. But I am cautiously optimistic that at the very least, we will get to speak with William from Sepsiss today here live in studio. So that's kind of the deal. What is coming up tonight? It is the Dead Reckoning. The band is Dead Reckoning. They're a national touring act. I'll refer to what's on the website here. Dead Reckoning bring the Dead Army Takeover Tour to Jewel Music Venue. That's how it's listed on here. It's really just known locally as Jewel Nightclub in Manchester, New Hampshire, with special guests Sepsiss, Edgewise, Dust Prophet, Mark of Wrath, and Able Blood. Packed with local metal bands, this hard-hitting show will satisfy all of your metal needs. I kind of suspect AI wrote this. This is from the Eventbrite website. That feels very AI to me. I'm not picking anybody. I'm not busting stones over it. I think it's fun. Does that not, because we talk about it on the show, so it's relevant. Does that not sound like it was written by AI? Oh, this was totally written by AI. Okay, it says here, doors at 6 p.m., show at 7 p.m. Come thirsty and ready to mosh. There is no way an actual human if an actual human did write that, they should be fired. Come thirsty and ready to mosh. Oh my goodness. Tickets are $15 and will go fast. So don't miss your chance to see some killer metal. Okay. So that's happening tonight. Big show tonight at Jewel. So we'll see. We'll see who we hear from today on the program. But I did open with a Dust Prophet track. That was Hourglass. I was messaging with Otto. I said, hey, I'm going to open with something from your band today. And I was going to play Song 4 because that seems to be a fan favorite, but at least with the audience. Every time I play Song 4, I see a lot of positive comments in the chat room. But Otto said, can you play something with vocals in it? So I said, I'll play Hourglass. And actually, Jenny just said in the chat room, my favorite Dust Prophet song. So that was a good choice. After all, Hourglass instead of Song 4. So, and I do love Otto's vocals on that. His voice is just incredible. So there you go. So a little bit of Dust Prophet to open up today's program. If you would like to join us on the show, 603-250-6007. That is the studio line, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can also email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. By the way, something I meant to mention about tonight's show that I neglected to, I want to make sure I mention this. And I didn't realize this until a few minutes before I went on the air. The show tonight, the local promoter putting it on is Always Forward Events. And Always Forward Events happens to be the company run by our friend Sam Beachard. He's been on the show talking about Always Forward Events and also his band House Lights, who have a great song called Love and Understanding that I absolutely love. But Sam's a great guy. Sam made a very nice testimonial for me recently. I did a hypnosis session with him, some hypnotherapy, which is confidential when I see clients, of course, unless they are okay with... I've actually done a session with a former United States senator, but I can't say who. It's confidential, and I was asked to not reveal the name. But but anyway, yeah. So I did a session with Sam, and he posted a very nice testimonial about the experience on social media, which I appreciate. But so this is actually, he's part of the show tonight at Jewel, being put on by his company, Always Forward Events. So I didn't realize it was his until right before the show. I was looking at the flyer. I said, wait a minute, that says Always Forward Events. So anyway, so that's, we'll see who we hear from today. Again, 603-250-6007 is the studio line, 603-250-6007. I do want to, we'll say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat, and then we'll get into some stuff. Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont joins us in the chat and says, hey guys, hello Melanie. Archer Flight, who I strongly suspect is from Greensboro, North Carolina, says, hello, hashtag Matt. Hi, hashtag Jenny, we say. How are you doing, Matt? We said. I'm doing quite well, sir. Thank you. Or ma'am, or however you identify. Archer Flight, actually, I assume, is the name of a pop singing group from Greensboro, North Carolina. Oops, sorry. That's what it usually turns out to be. Archer Flight says, we say that's punk rock, hashtag Matt. No, Dust Prophet I would not categorize as punk rock. It's sort of doom metal if I had to categorize it. Jenny says, shalom peeps. J-Fed says, good afternoon, everyone. Archer Flight says, we say we do love your show of the afternoons, hashtag Matt. Good afternoon, hashtag Jason from us. Yeah, saying hello to J-Fed as well. And Archer Flight also says, good afternoon, Kara Kilmer. We say to you from us. And yeah, who's that again? Kara Kilmer or Cara Kilmer? Is she from is she related to Val Kilmer? Isn't she somebody famous or something? I don't know. Alex Whiteley, all the way from the UK, joins us. A fellow podcaster and broadcaster. He says, evening, guys. Sorry, it's been a while. Hope you're all well. Well, we hope you are well, sir. Archer Flight says, hello, Sepsiss. We said, you rock. Yes, hopefully we'll get to speak with members of Sepsiss later in the program today. Let's see. Archer Flight says, we say we like our favorite version of Hourglass by the band of Squeeze. Hashtag Matt. Yes, Squeeze also having a song called Hourglass. Very different, though, I would say. The Dust Prophet song Hourglass is in no way a cover of the Squeeze song. Two very different bands. I forget, Miriam Banish is in the chat room. I forget if I mentioned that Miriam is in there. Hello, Miriam. Also, Eric Nanarone joins us in the Facebook live chat. I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. He says hello. He shared a link in the chat room yesterday. I haven't gotten a chance to, feel free to drop that link again, Eric, if you'd like. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but it's a play on words on his last name, the Nano Second Podcast. And I will check that out soon. Let's see. Archer Flight says, we are not suspects. We are a pop singing group. I think that's because I said I suspected that they were a pop singing group. So Archer Flight says, we are not suspects. We are a pop singing group. I don't know if Archer Flight is correcting me or if Archer Flight is making a joke. I don't know. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry in the Facebook live chat joins us and says, good afternoon. Queen City Cabinetry, of course, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3. But also, Mike is one of our official co-hosts now on Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C every Friday night from 8 to 11 p.m. I have the honor and privilege of being one of Paul's co-hosts on that show, along with DJ Steve and Mike from Queen City Cabinetry, and we have a great time. Oh, Archer Flight says, Cara Kilmer from the TV show Chicago Fire, Matt, we said. Now, Chicago Fire, I've never seen the show, but that's a famous show, right? Which means that Cara Kilmer is famous, which means that she's being referred to in our Facebook live chat and being tagged, so she'll probably see that. So, therefore, it's almost like this show is now famous because a famous person is being tagged in our chat room. That's how it works, right? Wow, I can't believe the moment's finally here. That's fantastic. Every day I Google myself to see if I'm famous yet, but looks like Archer Flight has taken care of that for us. We do have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's Ridley.
Oh, Dave Ridley. How are you, sir?
Oh, not too bad.
What's going on?
Well, Porkfest. There's a little bit of a music scene at Porkfest that will be coming up on June 18th.
Ah, now what is Porkfest for the uninitiated?
That's up in Lancaster, New Hampshire at Rogers Campground, the prettiest campground in New Hampshire, to my knowledge. And that's like a libertarian gathering. I think a libertarian Burning Man.
Yes. Now, I understand. So there's camping involved, which would not be for me, certainly. Dave, I don't even go out into the woods. I'm very afraid. There's deer ticks. There's the Blair Witch. You just never know what you're going to find in the woods. But good for them. And do you? I know that event has been going on for a long time. Do you go to that? Do you go to Porkfest?
I go to about every third Porkfest, I guess. I haven't been in about 2 years, and I probably won't make it to this one.
Uh-huh.
But it's one of those things where you kind of get a law of diminishing returns. You know, after you've been to the first 7, they start kind of feeling a little bit the same. But it does get bigger every year. It's now selling out every year, and with all the people that fled the authoritarian states during COVID, we have had a lot of free staters, move here, and so. The event is now packed every year, and there's traffic jams. Almost all the hotel rooms get sold out.
Wow!
But many people do not camp. They either rent a motel room right there on the site, or they rent like a
RV
mobile home, or they rent a hotel in town or whatever.
Yes. I didn't know that, actually. I thought everyone just camped. Dave, are you experiencing issues with allergies?
No, but you're talking about the smoke?
Well, your voice got very hoarse. Oh, the smoke coming down from Canada?
No, we do have a big air quality alert today in Winchester. It kind of reminds me of when there's a big forest fire or something like that in the distance. Yeah,
no, we have that here too. Yeah, the air quality is very poor right now.
I'm not sure what's causing it, but that may be causing you to sound different.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of music at Porkfest. The quality, of course, varies wildly. But some of the folks are pretty good. It's just not the focus.
What is the focus, Dave, of PorkFest? Sum it up for us. What would you say the focus is?
Man, I'm not sure. It really is different for every person. But it's just the idea of getting all the freedom lovers in, is either like having the world's top freedom event, the liberty event, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is now. It's now, I guess, it's surpassed Anarchapulco, which is this thing they used to have in Mexico. I guess they still have it, but I think ours is now bigger.
Wow. All right. Very good. Very good. No, you go ahead, Dave.
If you want to learn about it, you just go to porkfest.com. You can show up even though it's sold out. You can still show up. You just can't get a campsite.
Right.
I don't think you can get a motel room on the ground unless you get on a waiting list or something like that. There's also like this. It starts on June 18th, but if you want to go to something that's at the same spot that's a little bit smaller and not sold out, you can just go early. If you go anytime between June 15th and June 17th, there's a pre-event called PorkFest, which is a smaller and more hardcore anarchist type gathering, or voluntarist or libertarian or whatever word you want to use. The purists tend to be at PorkFest, and then PorkFest itself is more mainstream.
I would think an anarchist based event would be difficult to organize. I made a little joke there.
Yeah, and it's not organized.
Okay.
There's no attempt. But because it's smaller, there's not as much need to organize. But one of the Free State Project is still, as it really kind of explodes in size, and we start, we're starting to get a little bit exponential. It's having growing pains, and those used to be evidenced in the fact that PorkFest, they didn't have enough. The facilities would get overwhelmed by people, and the bathrooms would all get filled up, and with people in every stall at all the time. Hard to get a shower. It was but that's sort of been dealt with. But now there's a different type of growing pain in that now all the big name politicians want to speak at PorkFest. With the New Hampshire primary and everything. Robert Kennedy's son, who's running for president, he's going to be speaking.
Oh, no kidding.
RFK Jr. He's commonly known as.
Yep. He's running as a Democrat, challenging Biden for the nomination. But he's going to speak at PorkFest.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's a true big name in many different ways.
Yeah.
And he'll be there, and that's great. On the other hand, he's not a pure libertarian, and so some folks in the movement are kind of scoffing at him and welcoming him with derision. And the worst part to some people is that when he speaks, there's going to be an area set aside for him to speak, and inside that area, they are not going to be allowing people to carry firearms. And this is just creating howls of derision, within the libertarian community.
Oh boy!
Of course, you can understand why. Considering his dad was assassinated, his uncle, JFK was assassinated. There's obviously, there's kind of this. You have to wonder if there's another crazy out there waiting to do something bad.
Yeah, you can't.
You can understand.
I'm glad you said that, Dave. That shows a level of empathy on your part that not everyone has in that situation. So I'm glad you said that. And I agree with you. You really can't blame him.
Well, this guy is not Ted Kennedy, right? This guy is a real traditional Kennedy. He's more like JFK. He's outside the establishment. He really does bat at home, or he hits it out of the park on a lot of different issues. For instance, he wants Edward Snowden pardoned. He wants Julian Assange pardoned. He wants he's got serious reservations about the war with Russia. He's something of an anti-nuclear activist, and he has he's against vaccine mandates very strongly and stuff like that. He's been kind of like this for a while, so. He really is kind of, he's kind of like Tulsi Gabbard, I guess, in a lot of ways. And so I tend to welcome politicians, big name politicians taking these positions as opposed to deriding them for not taking all the libertarian positions.
Yeah, I mean, part of what is there are many, many things, but part of what I think is so broken about our politics in the United States is that people tend to take an exclusionary attitude in terms of, everything has to be in extremes and you have to be all with me. You're either completely with me on everything or you're completely against me on everything. And there's a resistance to letting anyone in. I don't just mean, with the libertarians at PorcFest, but I mean with anybody, with Republicans, Democrats, whatever. There's always this resistance to letting anybody in, unless they're all the way with you. And that polarization, I think, has gotten much worse over time. So I'm not surprised that there are people who are horrified at the idea of him speaking there. But it's also good to hear. And by the way, I don't agree with the guy on a lot of things. I think he's a little bit. Well, I don't want to say too much because we might try to get him on the show because we're starting to try to get some of these well-known candidates. But I won't be able to upload that day's show to YouTube if that does happen, of course. But but it's also good to hear that there are some people there who are willing to welcome him and listen to him and be able to. Hopefully have respectful discussion about areas of disagreement and listening with an open mind. I mean, that's good.
Well, if he's following the Tulsi Gabbard track, she was a gun control advocate when I interviewed her in 2020, early 2020. She was in favor of these things called universal background checks and other nonsense. And there is a claim on the table. Jay Noon is claiming that I may have changed her mind when I questioned her. But I doubt that I was the one that did it, but she did change her position on firearms, and now she is against gun control. So if that happened to Tulsi Gabbard after her interactions with New Hampshire, we can hope that this will also happen to RFK Jr.
Well, I would have to say, Dave, by the way, who is Jay Noon? Is that a name I should know?
He ran for state rep last year, or whenever the last election was. And he's I guess maybe best known for refusing to take a driver's license. So he drives without a license and does not have a social security number. And he owns a little property. It's either in Ware or Henniker. It's kind of right on the line between the two. It's not a little property. It's sort of actually a fairly big property, and a lot of people live on the property, I think. So it's kind of a libertarian gathering point. I don't know what to compare it to in the normal world. I was just curious. You said his name like it was someone people would know, and I'm not familiar with him, but no, that's all right. I was just curious. As far as Tulsi Gabbard though goes, I would I might pop your bubble. Not that you are in any way obligated to accept my popping of your bubble or the bubble that Jay Noon has tried to hand to you, apparently. But Tulsi Gabbard, in my view, if you have followed her trajectory, I don't think it had anything to do with what you said to her, Dave. Honestly, I think she just, she saw an opportunity to kind of, because she was sort of already on the outs with the Democrats. I think she saw an opportunity to sort of cash in because next thing I know, when she started to change, suddenly she's going on. Of course, Tucker Carlson is no longer on Fox, but all of a sudden I see Tulsi Gabbard going on Fox News and going on these other right-wing, not libertarian, right-wing conservative outlets and programs, and essentially agreeing with everything, essentially agreeing with conservatives on everything, and kind of just, I think she saw an opportunity there. I'm trying really hard not to use the term right-wing grifter, but I think she, I think she cashed in is what was really going on there. I don't trust her. Yeah, and I think you're right that I did not change her mind by myself. But I did. But I think you're making a point. Maybe I was right about something else, and that after I interviewed her, I made the claim that she struck me as sort of an American Churchillian type of figure, where she obviously has a sort of greatness, but it's not necessarily goodness. So, sure enough, she went right after that and did what Churchill did. Or, 2 years later, she did what Churchill did. So Churchill initially was best known for switching parties. So he switched out of the Labour Party and into what do they call it? In the Tory Party back then, or the Conservative Party in the 20s or 30s. I can't remember. Anyway, he left his party, and it was backwards. He was a conservative, then he switched over to the Liberals. That's right.
Okay.
And then he switched back.
Yeah.
Then he said that it takes a certain amount of. It doesn't take all that much ingenuity to rat, but it takes a lot of ingenuity to re-rat.
Yeah. I get very suspicious, Dave. It's one thing for someone's politics to evolve or devolve, depending on how you want to view it, depending on what your own ideology is. I suppose everyone can kind of make their own judgments about the individual who is evolving or devolving. But I mean, I certainly don't believe all the same things I did 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. I've changed my mind on some things over time. And I think that's very healthy and perfectly reasonable to do. But I'm always suspicious when I see somebody change so drastically in such a short period of time. That sets off an alarm with me. That makes me go, I'm not sure this individual is completely on the up and up. And there's other examples I could give of that, but look, I mean, people can change. People should change. I tend to, as distrustful as I am of people who just seem to change completely all of a sudden, I'm also a bit distrustful of people who seem to go through their entire lives never changing their minds about anything. Not because I think that they don't believe what they claim to believe necessarily, but because they've probably sealed themselves into some sort of ideological bubble where they're just not open to any new information. If you believe all the same things at 60 years old that you did at 20 years old and you haven't changed your mind about anything, then I don't trust that person either, to be honest with you. But I don't trust her. But that's interesting. Your insight into her is interesting as well.
And if you were to transport yourself back in time 80 years, you would not be able to trust Churchill either.
Right.
It's normal with politicians. It just are not very many politicians you can trust. But
right. Yeah.
The other problem is it's a systemic problem in the United States, because we have an inferior political system compared to the Israelis or the Icelanders, the Danes, or maybe to some extent even the British, because it only allows two parties. So it's not like Tulsi Gabbard has a party that thinks like her that she can jump into, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of the parties, they have option A and option B, and if you're slightly different from either of them, they tend to drum you out at the national level. And they didn't welcome Ron Paul. They're hostile to RFK Jr. They were hostile to Tulsi Gabbard when she was in the Democrats. Now that she's in the Republicans, people are saying she's a rat and she's just being an opportunist and she doesn't really believe it would just be better if there were more parties to pick from. But that's not the way change is going to happen in the United States.
Agreed. I was just looking up, by the way, while you were talking. I was because I couldn't remember his name. Arlen Specter. Remember him? Senator Arlen Specter from Rhode Island, and he would go back and forth just like it was. And he got caught on tape. He got caught on video saying the last time he switched parties, because I think he actually died in office. He lived to be pretty old. But he was on video saying, I'm switching parties because I think it'll help me get reelected. I think it was the last time he switched from Democrat to a Republican. But he had a history of just going back and forth. No core values or positions, apparently. He just did whatever was convenient for him to win elections, Yep.
No, it's all rigged against any any minor party.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because you have to. Green Party has to go through endless hoops just to get on the ballot. The Libertarian Party has to go through endless hoops just to get on the ballot. But the Republicans and Democrats automatically get on the ballot. And right there, that just ruins it all for any third party.
It's a closed circuit.
In the Soviet Union, they still had change with just one party, right? And the change came to some extent from inside the party. So it can be done.
Yes, but difficult. By the way, Dave, I kept meaning to ask you this, and we kind of went in a different direction. But can you tell our listeners why it's called Pork Fest? Because I just don't want anyone to go there thinking that they're going to get bacon and sausage and not realize what the meaning of Pork Fest actually is.
Or that they're going to see a lot of police. But
right.
Pork stands for porcupines. And porcupines are people who believe in being left alone, but they're not going to start a fight with you.
Right. But if you give them a hard time, they've got the quills.
Correct.
The porcupine quills. Yes.
Yeah. But it's a lot of speeches, a lot of vendors, a lot of drugs. No police. Basically, police. If police try to enter the park, it's considered scandalous and a big deal, and everybody's running around with cameras freaking out. The police are not considered welcome on the campground site during the thing. So that's one very big difference between us and Burning Man.
That has happened, though, hasn't it? In the past, hasn't that happened?
They have gone in. In fact, they went in right in front of me in 2021 when I was there. There was a guy who lived in the park, who was not connected to the festival, and he had a heart attack right across the street from me.
Oh my God!
I was renting on, or something. They thought he was having a heart attack, and so EMS services did come into the park, and I believe there was a policeman present, but it wasn't a huge deal. It just everyone kind of went on alert when that happened.
Yeah. Oh wow, jeez, that's terrible. I guess it was too much freedom for him.
Yeah.
All right, Dave. Well, anything else on your mind?
That is all. Porkfest.com. Come out. You're invited.
All right. Very good. Dave, thank you for the call.
You're welcome for the call.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That was our friend Dave Ridley from the Ridley Report and NH Exit, and talking about Porkfest. And I've never gone to any sort of camping. I don't go into the woods. To be honest with you, I just as soon not go outside. I look forward to the day when the technology exists where I can just teleport from one place to the next and not even, if I need some fresh air or whatnot, I open a window. I mean, who needs it? But that's me. But there you go. Porkfest this weekend. Wait, did he say this weekend? Oh no, he said the 18th. Geez, I already forgot what he said for dates. You know what? He confused me because he was talking about Porkfest and then Forkfest, which is, I guess, the anarchist thing. I don't know. Again, how does that work? How do you even organize that? I went back for the same joke. I apologize. All right, we have another call. Let's see who we got on the line. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hi, it's John Hopwood.
John Hopwood. How are you, sir? I feel like I haven't heard from you in weeks.
I'm having problems with my back.
Problems with what?
My back.
Oh, your back. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
It sounds like you just heard about this for the first time.
No. It sounded like you said something different. It's not the greatest phone connection, but it's not bad. I can hear you okay.
Oh, okay. Does this help any?
That's a little better, yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that I am wanting to comment that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said he is going to Porkfest, and I am very disgusted by that.
Now what?
And I really don't know what RFK Jr. is up to.
Interesting. By the way, we should remind listeners, you went and covered RFK Jr. when he spoke at the Center for Politics at St. Anselm, correct?
Yes, I'm moving around to try to get a better connection.
We can hear
you. This won't be a long conversation because I see we're having a bad connection.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I was enthusiastic about him, but I even put my name in for the RFK Jr. presidential campaign. But here the guy shows up on Friday in New Hampshire. Him and his people don't send out any word he's coming.
Really?
He doesn't mention on either one of his Twitter feeds, including his major feed that I have posted stuff on. He doesn't even mention that he's given a speech before the New Hampshire primary. Yet, his performance, the word came out, his performance, at St. A's, it's all in defense of the New Hampshire primary. And then he's been invited to talk to the New Hampshire Senate because the head of the Senate said, it might be Jeb Bradley, I think, who's a good guy. One of the old-time Republicans.
Yeah.
And, God, where does they go, right? When you're yearning for the old Republicans.
Yeah, no kidding.
But,
I'm with you.
It allows everybody that's going to run for president, serious candidates, not like the ones that will show up at your place with boots on their head and the like, can speak to the New Hampshire Senate. And the only way I found out about that is through Lou D'Alessandro. Now, I'm an accredited journalist, except, the Trump people finally figured me out. No longer will accredit me. But this is a way to run a New Hampshire primary campaign. The whole idea of the New Hampshire primary is like a Bernie Sanders. He launched his campaign at Elizabeth Roth's house.
Yes.
He had people here. It's just, what is Bobby Kennedy up to? Bobby Kennedy Jr. up to? And he's going to go talk to these anarcho-libertarians who, to the core, are MAGA people, But
well, I don't. You're painting. You're painting with a very broad brush there. But I was disappointed that when it did turn out that yes, a lot of them are Trump supporters, and because I don't know what the hell is so libertarian about Trump, but he's able to cast such a spell on people that it doesn't matter.
Oh, don't you think that most of the Free Staters went whole hog for Trump?
Well, some of them did. Not all of them. Some definitely did not. Dave Ridley certainly did not. He's no fan of Trump. But
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. No, but some of them did. Because it's Trump. People just get mesmerized by him. I mean, the guy managed to convince an entire political party that John McCain was a war criminal. I mean, just with a few comments. I mean, so.
Isn't?
I don't believe so, but I was thinking about that the other day. But
John McCain being a war criminal, or that
no,
John McCain never visits the studio.
I'm not saying that. But just to clarify, I'm not saying that he is. I would never. No, the reason I was thinking about it is it came up in one of the best of episodes that ran on a Saturday morning. The bit that we used to do with the ghost of John McCain. But, yeah.
Yes, he's abandoned us ever since somebody tried to... What was that guy? The presidential candidate that tried to deliver papers on
that was
of John McCain.
That was Stephen Comley Sr. He had his own secret documents that he gave. He gave one envelope to me and one to Peter White, and Peter filed his away in a place that no one would ever think to look for them, and I sleep with mine under my pillow.
Okay, I thought that he had given something to the ghost of John McCain.
I don't believe so. Maybe some agita, but yeah. But I'm not aware of anything beyond that.
I just wanted to say that I don't know what Kennedy's up to.
Well, he's no threat to Biden, right?
He is a threat to Biden.
You think he is?
A threat to Biden tears away his legitimacy, and Joe Biden wants nothing to do with the New Hampshire primary.
Well, that's
so if you
true.
Actually, run a New Hampshire primary campaign like somebody like Bernie Sanders did, or Eugene McCarthy back in 1968, you can really make a difference. Which is one of the reasons that Biden didn't want a New Hampshire primary. So basically, though, Bobby Kennedy Jr. is here talking about the significance of the New Hampshire primary, but he's just blowing smoke up people's posteriors, including the ghost of John McCain.
Right. Well, I don't know if the ghost of John McCain has a posterior. I'm not sure how that works in the afterlife. It seems like you wouldn't need everything. But
well, that's true. Big Steve, who, revealed about the satanic portal over the White House
Yes.
on your show.
Yes.
Which led to a denunciation of yours truly last night when I was talking to Big Steve.
Oh, no.
And he says that I was very unsympathetic to him on your show.
Right. But we did learn a lot, though, about the satanic portal.
We did, but basically these aliens that appear before people. We're not talking about your alien greys or the Nordics or whatever the hell they are.
Mm-hmm.
That like you saw in Close Encounters. We're talking about ones who visit important people like Joseph Smith, the
Mm-hmm.
founder of the Mormon religion,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
or major tech executives in Silicon Valley. They only appear from the waist up.
Oh, right.
So
Yes.
that's true. The ghost of John McCain might not have a posterior.
Right. Yes. I do miss him. Stephen Philbrook in the chat room says, I miss the ghost of John McCain. Well, I think we all do.
I know I do. I interviewed him twice, and it was always good to hear his voice again.
Yeah, I can't seem to find him. I have looked, and he appears to have vanished. Along with interestingly enough, virtual John Hopwood and virtual Dave Ridley. They have all vanished, and I cannot locate them. Try as I might.
Oh, I have a clue about that, but I'll have to tell you in person.
Okay.
I know there's a vendetta against yours truly at the studio.
Oh.
I'm not going to say who's behind it or what dimension it's coming from.
Oh.
But, all those things happening with the satanic portal
Yes.
over, your death.
Yes.
There's reverberations.
Oh, that totally happened again, by the way. Is the thing with something coming out of the vent and with a number on it? For real. And I have it here. I can even show the people who are watching online on Facebook. Let me grab it.
What's the number this time? The last one was 13.
This time the number 16 fell out of the ceiling. This happened on Friday. This happened for real. This happened on Friday. It was after my show and before Paul's show. This came out of the vent in the ceiling. The first time it happened, it was a 13. This time it was a 16. The number 16. It came out of one of the vents in the ceiling here. And what do you think that means, John Hopwood? The number 16.
All I'm wondering is what happened to all those $50 bills that got stashed somewhere in the building. But we're not supposed to talk about that.
Oh no.
I don't even know if those $50 bills were real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, why don't you?
I'm colorblind, so they could have been chartreuse. Chartreuse is not green, right? Or is it?
I don't know. I think we'd need an interior designer to tell us that. Now, have you submitted your resume to the RFK campaign? Maybe you could help them out so they could get organized. It sounds like they need some organizing.
Well, my old friend Tom Massingale, who's an RFK Jr. enthusiast, as I was up until recently, mentioned something like that. I told him, campaigns don't function like that. They don't use locals. They use professionals.
Yeah.
They use professionals and they're media-based. They really don't, advertising. During the primary season, the Boston market, which covers Manchester, is the fourth largest advertising market in the entire United States.
Mm-hmm.
Although Boston is not the fourth largest market, but it's because of the amount of political spending. Unlike a Bernie Sanders, who ran two successful campaigns in New Hampshire, grassroots campaigns, they don't focus on that, which is a big mistake. And they bring in people that aren't from New Hampshire, that don't know New Hampshire. Whereas like Bill Clinton used the late Bill Cashin, who has a huge portrait over at City Hall, as his man on the ground, and relied on his advice. Where Hillary Clinton did not do that in 2016. It's all outsiders, professionals, people that didn't even really know New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Unlike the successful campaign in 1992, where Bill Clinton came in a strong second, which in the New Hampshire primary, a strong second often is considered the win. 1972, George McGovern. 1992, with Bill Clinton. And in 1968, Eugene McCarthy came within a few points of beating a sitting president, you know?
Well, also in 92, Paul Tsongas, because being from our border state of Massachusetts, he was considered a favorite son. So he was expected to win no matter what.
I voted for him, but it wasn't. But Clinton did so well, as Bill Cashin told me, when the Jennifer Flowers thing hit, it was like the campaign went into disarray.
Right.
The people from outside the state. And not Cashin, but people around him, people that are still in politics, told me about Cashin was about 5'4" or 5'5".
Right.
And Bill Clinton was 6'3", and he's pointing his finger at Bill Clinton as a foot taller. Nashua, Manchester, Concord. You concentrate on that. That's where the votes are. And he did, and he pulled it out. A close second place finish, and then they said the comeback kid. Yeah, I'm the comeback kid, because they thought he was through.
Right. Well,
that
all
was
right.
a big thing.
Yes.
But I'm just saying that Bobby Kennedy Jr. going to pork that. These are people that don't like vaccines, mask mandates, vaccines, whatever. I figure that they're like that. You're already talking to the preaching, right? I mean, you're already talking to the preachers. You're already preaching to the crowd.
Yeah.
His thing is to convince mainstream Democrats and independents that he's not all just some anti-vaxxer,
Right.
And to take his critique of the institutional capture by Big Pharma and other corporations and other industries. But no, it's always amazing to see people F-word up.
Right.
In politics. But Matt, there's a great saying, and I'm going to leave your audience on this. There's a great saying in America, and it is mentioned in Kurt Vonnegut's great book, Slaughterhouse-Five, that in America, at the time of the World War II, you could go into one of these restaurants or bars, and there'd be a sticker that said, "If you're so smart, why ain't you rich?"
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm so smart, why ain't I rich?
Yeah. Why ain't you?
I don't know. I just it's just frittered away from me. Take care, Matt.
All right, John.
Bye.
All right. Thank you for the call. All right, that was our friend John Hopwood on the line. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play a little Sepsiss song here, "Bleed Lines," great single, and then when we come back, we got a little surprise for you. But check this out, and plenty more to come. Don't go away.
How we remain if I come through it all.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Matt Connarton Unleashed as we cross over an hour number 2, numero dos. We are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. And so we have some special guests with us, and I'm going to introduce first because if you are a regular listener, you already know this guy, William from Sepsiss. Is
Hey, what's up?
How are you? Welcome.
Yes, I brought my friends all the way from Georgia. I went down to Georgia, and I packed them all up, and now they're here, right here.
Now they're here. We've got Dead Reckoning with us in studio. How are you guys?
What's up, man? How you doing?
What's going on?
Good, good. I just want to say for the record, too, never in all the years that I've done this program have we had this many people wearing black on the show all at once, and it's pretty cool. And I'm glad I wore I wear a lot of black myself. So.
Yeah, you can just join us, man.
Yeah, I blend right in, except, well, not really, but at one time I would have.
We're at Jewel with and some of your friends are there tonight too.
Yeah.
Able Blood is there.
Yep.
So Dead Reckoning is headlining the show.
Okay.
And Able Blood's there, and I think Dust Prophet's there too.
Yep.
So you know Dust Prophet.
And we got Mark of Wrath too.
And Mark of Wrath.
Yep.
Are they in their touring with you guys?
Yeah, they
you
did 5 days with us. This is their last day with us. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see them pulling in. Are they hungry? They must be hungry.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing.
I think they had a later load-in time than us.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, okay. And you've also got Edgewise is there, right?
Is Edgewise playing, or did they? I'm not sure if they were showing up or not tonight.
I saw them on a flyer.
I know there was a 6 band, but it was somehow they dropped off.
Oh,
I think that was what it was. Yeah.
Oh, maybe there was a change. Okay.
Tuesdays are difficult sometimes.
Oh yeah. No doubt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the flyer I'm looking at. Yeah, I see. Of course, Dead Reckoning, Sepsiss, Able Blood, Dust Prophet, and I do see Edgewise. Although it's funny, on the flyer that I'm looking at, Edgewise is kind of faded a little bit. It's weird. It's almost like somebody made the flyer and knew that.
They might not stay. So
that's funny. And Always Forward is the promoter or the local promoter.
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yep.
Yeah, and really, I've never worked with them. It's actually been a pleasure. I usually with NH Booking over there. Shout out to NH Booking. But,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a pleasure. Those guys are nice and clean over there. Things seem to be going well. That's how we got over here. Things were spiffy over there.
Oh, very good.
I love playing Jewel. I really, for them to inherit the Queen City experience at Jewel. I think these guys are going to be pumped up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We already got set up and an amazing stage, so we're excited.
Great venue.
Yeah.
So you guys are from you're from Georgia?
Yeah, Columbus, Georgia.
Are
down
you-
there with Fort Benning.
Are you touring? You going all over? You going all
Yeah,
over?
we're
the
doing a
country,
120-day tour.
They tour more than every band in the world.
Yeah, there's not many at our level that tours like this. that's
Nobody
for sure.
tours like Dead Reckoning.
Even some of the big names have been like, man, that schedule's intense.
Nobody tours like Dead Reckoning. It's the truth.
Well, you gotta shove it down their throats sometimes.
I love that.
Gotta make them hear it.
Hey, speaking of always forward, Sam Beachard is on the phone. Hey, Sam.
Hello?
Hey, Sam. Welcome. You're on the
Hey,
air.
Matt.
What's going on, man? I got the guys. The guys are here from. We've got William from Sepsiss, and he brought Dead Reckoning. They're here with us in studio.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
And I invited Sam if he wanted to do a quick call and to promote the big show tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are on it already, but just throwing out there again, anybody's listening, come on down to Jewel, 7 p.m. doors, 8 p.m. show. We got Ava Blood, Dust Prophet, Mark of Wrath, Sepsiss, Dead Reckoning. It's going to be an incredible show. Heavy on a Tuesday night. Got to bring it. I'll see everybody there.
Very good. All right, Sam. We'll let you go. We know you've got a lot to do, my friend. You're very busy, obviously, but we appreciate the call.
Thank you.
All right, man. You got it.
See you soon, man.
Bye-bye. All right, very good. Yeah, that's our friend Sam Beachard. He made a very nice testimonial for me recently. I work as a hypnotherapist also, and I did a hypnosis session with him. He made a very nice posted a very nice video about it, which was cool.
So if you forget why you're here,
then you'll know why.
Or if you just feel very relaxed, very comfortable, and very calm.
I'm always relaxed.
I don't know. Or if we randomly bark or something at the middle of the show,
Right,
he
right.
got us. He got us.
Have you heard this
You'll
guy
know why.
scream? You have to be relaxed to scream like that.
Yeah, he's intense.
Yeah. We're gonna now. What's actually? Let's get everybody's name.
My name's Taylor.
You're Taylor, so you're the singer, obviously, with the scream, and you, sir.
I'm Brain. I play bass.
Okay. And
I'm Ryan. I'm the drummer.
Ryan.
I'm Mike, guitar
Okay. And who?
and vocal.
Do we have somebody else or?
Nope, just us four.
all
For
of us.
Dead Reckoning.
It's you four. And so is touring? I mean, what is it's a challenge, right? Right now, it
Oh,
seems
yeah.
like a lot of bands aren't touring because with inflation, everything's gotten so expensive. It's hard. I mean, how do you guys do it? Do you just go for it?
You just got to do it.
Yeah, you kind of some of the shows you don't get the guarantee you want or the turnout you want, but you still have to push to the next one, you know.
Yeah.
And the next one may make up for what you didn't get done, you know. So
Yeah.
it works out if you just push.
Yeah. Have you guys been at it a long time?
Oh yeah, this is our eighth tour, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
And we're
Wow.
starting to see a little light at the tunnel, so we keep at it, you know.
Yeah. Excellent. Have you gotten a lot of airplay with the music? We're gonna play something at the end of the
Yeah,
segment, by the way,
yeah.
one of your tracks, but we'll get to hear that scream.
Oh,
but
yeah.
have you been getting a lot of airplay? Because obviously, as you're touring, you're building relationships. Well,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're doing here, building relationships at radio, I assume.
FM wise, it's a lot harder. We do a lot of the internet radio and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know, that's a lot easier for the metal world, especially.
True. Yeah.
A lot of us don't.
And there's
know
not
how
a
to
lot
hold
of
our tongues.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good metal stations anymore. You know.
Yeah, it is hard. It's so I can see where you'd be more internet radio based.
Yeah.
That makes sense. How long of a set do you guys do? Do you play for? Do you do like 90 minutes or?
I mean,
does it vary?
we can do anything from 30 to an hour. Our powerful set's about 30, 35.
Yeah.
And it just kicks them in the teeth, and then we move to the next one, you know?
Yeah.
But we probably maybe do a 45 tonight, I
Probably
think. Something like that.
45,
Yeah. Very nice. Very
And then
nice.
if they want encores and all that, you know.
Yeah. And then who's the band who's going around with you?
Margaret Wrath is doing 5 days. We usually
they're doing 5 days
Yeah,
with
we
you?
usually get bands that want to try to learn how touring works and everything, and we try to
Oh.
take them out with us and show them the ropes. And
Oh, cool.
We do all we can to help. Nobody helped us, so we
Yeah.
try to help them. you know?
Yeah.
A lot of local bands that are trying to become regional bands.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll bring them on for a week when we're in kind of their region, and then they can kind of get their foot in the door.
Yeah. Do you ever bring anybody on tour with you where they go, you're trying to show them the ropes and they kind of go, wow, I didn't think it would be quite this challenging.
Oh, yeah,
because
definitely.
obviously some people have they think it's glitz and glamour and
right.
No,
it's mainly just driving gas stations and playing. That's it. The glamour is on stage. That's about it.
Right, exactly. And what's the scene like? Where in Georgia are you from? Are you from Atlanta or
Columbus? About an hour south. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hot. It's hot.
Yeah,
very hot.
No doubt. What's the scene like there as far as metal?
It seems like it's getting a little bit better since the past few years, but for a while it was in a slump.
Yeah,
really.
I mean, really, we started touring because you couldn't do a killer show there, so we were like, well, what does South Carolina got? What does North Carolina got? And then we one day we were like, what's California got?
Yeah.
I mean, last month we were playing Whiskey a Go Go, in Hollywood,
nice.
California with Head PE, so
oh wow,
we're doing best we can,
Good for you, good for you. Yeah. Have you done any extensive touring with as support for a big?
No, we have a lot of talks right now though.
Yeah,
like these tours that we're doing is like putting us in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of big names that are talking about us now, and some have requested us, and then some of them have a buy on, so you gotta, if you can do that or not,
Oh yeah. Oh, I know all about how that works.
Yeah. But luckily they're getting to the point where they just want us, so hopefully we don't have to deal with all that.
Yeah, very cool. William, has Sepsiss, have you played with these guys before, or will tonight be a first?
I am
first playing.
I'm extremely lucky and excited to have my first opportunity to play with these guys.
We've been talking. Our two bands have been talking probably 2-3 years now.
No kidding.
Yeah, me and Melissa have been fans of these guys.
And we've been fans of you guys. I mean, they tear it up. We look up to them just as much.
Yeah,
I'll watch their lives and I'll be like, he just said what I said yesterday.
I think for like me and Melissa, what really got us excited about these fellas is, first of all, their stage presence. The fact that they're not just a band. They put on a show.
We try to put a show on.
I can tell they have an entire entertainment package. It's really interactive. And I know we get a lot of shit for it online. Stuff for it online.
I caught it.
Thank you. I know we get a lot of stuff for it online, but they're really interactive with their fans. They put themselves out there. I know some of the greatest artists that I can remember that are the nucleus of my ambition are the kind of people that put themselves out there a little bit more.
Right.
And they do that. They don't hide in the green room. They come down, they hang out with their fans, they're screaming in everybody's face. They're meeting people, and they're a pleasure to hang out with.
And we watch the other bands too, I mean, at least a couple songs, I mean,
support sounds really cool in a chat forum or in a comment section.
But very few practice it.
Real support is physical.
Yes.
And it's in there's two kinds of work. There's fun work and then miserable work. These guys are doing hard work, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So and they're keeping it fun, and they're sharing that with their fan base.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Where do you guys go from here after the show tonight? Where do you go next?
New York.
Yeah,
Rochester. Yeah,
okay.
we're off tomorrow finally for a day off to enjoy, and then we go to Rochester, New York, and then we head back down southeast to go to, or no, we go to Michigan.
We go west after that.
We go to Pennsylvania, and then we go west after that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. How many dates left on the tour? Are you?
Let's see, 3, 6, 9.
Well, for this leg, we get off.
There's about 20 on this part of the tour.
Okay.
And then we have a week break, and then we're doing another 24 straight. And then we take a month off, and we're doing another month straight.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Wow.
And we may have a couple more, but we'll see.
Oh, very cool. Yeah,
we just keep adding,
Yeah.
Like we started with 80 dates. We were like, we're just going to do it. We planned out 80 dates.
Yeah.
We get out there, and then people were like, we want you guys here. So we added, and now we're at 120 plus,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
No doubt. How long has the band been around?
We're going on almost 12 years.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, cool. Very cool. Well, it sounds like you're on a positive trajectory, and
absolutely,
it's going well. So that's fantastic. William, you had do you want to do that now that you've got a couple of announcements about?
I do.
Swarmy Fest.
Yeah, Swarmy Fest. As y'all know, it will be at Club Jewel. It's going to be November 4th. We have a handful of bands. I know a lot of people have been wondering who some of the headliners are. I promised I would come on and talk about some co-headliners. I cannot give you the top of the. I can't give you the cream of the crop yet.
Okay.
But two of the supporting co-headliners for November 4th here in the city, here in Queen City, at Jewel, here in Manchester for Swarmy Fest 2 is none other than our favorite band, Inverter.
Okay.
And our second supporting co-headliner will be somebody returning to the scene, a band I really love so much, a band we look up to that's been around for a long time, is my favorite band. We got Inverter, and I can't give you the other one. That's all I can give you for now.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I'll give you one more.
Okay.
6 bands, A Simple Complex.
Oh, well, I kind of wondered because I happened to see Mark Inglesby in the Facebook live chat. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he's seen it. Okay, yeah. I didn't know if I should give 2 with you. Okay, so he's in there. Okay, so A Simple Complex, and I got one more. I got one more, but y'all gonna have to wait for it.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, very cool. Wow, Simple Complex.
So Inverter and A Simple Complex will be at Swarmy Fest 2.
That's awesome. Yeah, A Simple Complex. Those guys have been around forever.
I'm so excited.
Interviewed them many times over the years. Mark's a great guy. That's fantastic. They've been through some lineup changes, but Mark has really, I think, kind of been the nucleus of that band. And that's awesome. Very cool. And of course, Jenny and I will be there for that, representing. And,
absolutely.
Doing streaming or
yes,
something.
Yes, good friends of ours, Soldiers of Solace will be on. Will be representing us also, coming on as a partner, so they're gonna be hanging out with us also.
Very cool, very cool. Oh, you know what else too? If you should plug your podcast. We never remember to do that.
Oh, the Honeycomb Hideout.
Yeah.
So it comes on. It comes on every hump day, Wednesday. Let me. And it's basically a 90-minute conversational piece about tech, industry news, social media, and the independent music business.
Yes, it is excellent, and I suggest everybody check it out.
And don't forget, Lexi's here too. She has the Metal Honeys podcast, which she does bi-weekly.
Yes, very good. So that's
she interviews bands and she does live at the table.
Yes,
cool.
Yes, yeah. Jenny's in the chat room. He says he will have to come back to announce more bands. Yes, definitely, of course, absolutely, wonderful. Guys, have a great show tonight. It's wonderful to meet you. And what should people know about how to find you online for people who want to follow what you're doing?
The easiest way is deadreckoningofficial.com.
Okay.
That links you to everything. We're on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, you name it, TikTok. We got it all.
And for whatever reason, if we're not on it, you need to let us know.
Yeah. If we're not on it, let me know.
Very cool.
You can talk to me almost at any time. I'm the one that does all the talking on Facebook and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I talk to all of our fans. So.
All right, excellent. Very good. Well, we'll let you all get out of here because I know you probably have to get back over to the venue because doors are at 6, right?
Yeah, sound check's at 5:30. So we got.
Oh yeah, you got a jet. We're gonna close out the segment with Pawns from Dead Reckoning, and looking forward to sharing this with everybody. And gentlemen, thank you all again. This has been wonderful.
Thank you for having us.
And William from Sepsiss, thank you for bringing them by.
Oh man, thank you so much.
Absolutely, have a great show tonight. And all right, so we have more show to come, but we're gonna let these guys get out of here. And here it is.
Thank you, Matt.
You got it. This is Pawns, Dead Reckoning. Check it out.
Thanks, brother.
You got it.
Choosing self-righteous God.
I'm not sure what that gentleman was saying during that song, but I do know this: whatever it was, he definitely meant it. No, but in all seriousness, I do love that. I used to play in a band that sounded like that, actually, a couple bands. But no, that was great. That was Dead Reckoning. The name of the track is Pawns, and I'm looking at their website now, deadreckoningofficial.com. Check them out. Thank you so much to those guys for coming in. That was cool getting to meet them, and of course, William from Sepsiss. And they're going to be playing tonight. Doors open at 6 at Jewel. Right here in Manchester, New Hampshire. It's going to be a big show. Dust Prophet is on there as well. And who else? Able Blood. And there's one other band, too, that's not on this particular flyer. But, of course, and our friend Sam Beachard from Always Forward Events is involved as well. So there you go. So that will be happening tonight. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get into some more stuff as we prepare for our final segment today here on Matt Connarton Unleashed. And we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Don't go away. There is plenty more to come. Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Welcome back, everybody, as we cruise into our final segment today of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Although it looks like it might become rainy downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. It's clouding up out there, but there's this thing that keeps happening lately where it looks like it's going to rain, and for the next several hours it looks like it's going to rain, and it never quite rains. So that might be happening again today. We'll see. We'll see. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnerton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Tuesday, June 6, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. If you would like to enter the discussion today, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. By the way, if you missed it, we just had William from Sepsiss and the headliner at tonight's event at Jewel, Dead Reckoning. They are on tour, the Dead Army Takeover Tour. Sepsiss is on the show with them, of course, with Dead Reckoning, along with Able Blood and Dust Prophet, who we opened the show with today, and a couple other bands as well. So that is all happening tonight. And our friend Sam Beachard from Always Forward Events, he is the local promoter on that. And so doors open at 6 p.m. and tickets are $15. So it's an early show because it's a Tuesday. It is a weeknight, but those guys are, I'll tell you what, and if they, I would have liked to have gotten into a deeper discussion with the guys from Dead Reckoning on this subject if we had time, but well, we have time here, but they don't, because they've got to get back for sound check. Because it is an early show, so they didn't have a lot of time. So I'm really happy that they were able to get over here and do this interview. But I would have been interested in discussing with them further the rigors of touring and what it's like now, because the nature of touring has changed. And it really, when the pandemic hit, tours everywhere pretty much ground to a halt because everybody was getting sick and places were, everybody was shutting down, and a lot of musicians found other ways to get their music out there, and it was really kind of almost a renaissance in a way. That might be too strong a term to use, but there was a change in terms of how musicians began to disseminate their live music to fans using social media and doing videos. And you saw a lot of artists doing these live performances online where they're all in different locations. They're all at home, but they're all on a Zoom call together effectively, and they're all playing their instruments live together and doing that. So it kind of forced people to open up to different ways of doing things, new ways of doing things. And then, of course, the pandemic started to wind down, and I guess it's behind us for the most part, but although I don't think we're ever getting rid of COVID completely, unfortunately. I think we're stuck with it for the rest of our lives to some degree, but hopefully, to a manageable degree. But anyway, now, though, what started to happen is, so artists started touring again, but because of inflation is, so out of control that it just has become cost prohibitive, not only for younger bands who are building a following and trying to get out on the road when they can, or up and coming developing bands. Dead Reckoning, they've been at it for 12 years, and it looks like, they're on a real positive, like I said, a positive trajectory, but it's tough. They're hitting the road hard. And, what did they say? 120 dates, 130 dates on this tour? That's impressive. But even really well-established bands that play the big halls, and a lot of them have really had to scale back just what they do because it's become not profitable. It's become cost prohibitive. And what is really unfortunate about that is, a lot of musicians will tell you that's where they make the money. It's interesting how back when the internet, when music effectively became free, more or less, on the internet, back when Napster, remember Napster, when that first became a thing, and then companies like Spotify figured out how to kind of harness what was going on and saying, well, you might have to pay for it, but here's how you can pay for it, but it'll be available to you, so you don't have to download it illegally, so to speak. But anyway, when that happened, a lot of people in the music industry lamented that, well, so physical CDs aren't selling anymore like they used to. and artists used to get a certain amount. It might be as little as, a nickel per CD, right? A very small amount actually per unit. You might get a quarter, you might get $1, depending on what's in your contract. But artists would actually not make that much money on CD sales to begin with, and before that on sales of vinyl. It was never a lot of money. Now it's even less, right? People bemoan the checks they get from Spotify or from other streaming services, iTunes and whatnot, and how little money it is and how small those royalty rates are. But the truth is the money was never in that anyway. The money had always been in touring. There are artists who would have a platinum selling album, 1 million copies, back in the day, but be broke. There's something called, in the music industry, there's something called recoupment, which is where, so the record label advances you. I mean, this is the old model, but the record label advances you. Say you're a big band and you get $1 million advance. That isn't the record label paying you $1 million to make an album for them. In other words, they're not paying you $1 million and then they're going to pay for you to go make an album for them. And but that $1 million is like income for you. That's not what it is. When you hear about somebody getting $1 million advance, or when you used to back in the day, that $1 million is an advance that goes to the making of the album. They're advancing you that money and you're going to go make that album. And you might only spend $500,000 making that album. But, and the less money you spend on that, making that album, the better. Because if you spend more than $1 million making that album, well, now you're in the red. But the truth is, the record label is going to recoup that money from you regardless. So before you even see a penny of royalty money, say, they give you the $1 million advance, you use that money to go make the album. You then have to pay back that money. And the way you pay back that money is whatever royalties you make on that album once it's released. Let's say it's released and it sells 1 million copies. You got a big hit, right? Again, that doesn't happen anymore. Now it'd be, because now we measure things the way the industry has changed. Now we measure things in downloads instead of units. But again, using the old school model, you sell 1 million copies. You got a platinum selling album. Great. But you're not seeing any of that royalty money until the record label is paid back the money, all the money that they advanced you. And if you don't make enough to cover that, if the album doesn't make enough to cover that, doesn't matter that you sold 1 million copies and now you're a platinum selling artist. You're not suddenly rich. If anything, you might be broke, because if that money's not enough to pay back the advance, then, well, that's going to come out of, the next album. I mean, they're going to have to advance you more money to make the next album. But the point is, that's never been where the money is. The money has always been in touring. Touring is where you make the money. But even with touring, it's not so much you make the money on ticket sales. Sometimes you might break even on that, but you make the money on selling merch, selling t-shirts at the show, and hoodies and posters and CDs, of course, because people still do buy physical media. But the money's always been in the touring. It's not in the making of the albums or today the MP3s for the downloads. But the problem now is that the music industry is facing, well, now the money's not in the touring either. Unless you're, hey, if you're Taylor Swift, and her tour, her Eras tour, seems to be a lot in the news recently. But unless you're one of the big names, you're not even making a lot of money touring now. And that seems to be largely due to inflation. There are other factors too. Because of the internet, now when you go on tour, you're not only competing with other tours that are also on tour at the same time. You're always competing against whatever else is happening in the marketplace. You're competing for those entertainment dollars that consumers are going to spend in the marketplace. But you're competing with staying home, because staying home is a lot more fun than it used to be. There was a time when staying home might mean watching television or watching a movie or reading a book or just hanging out at home and listening to music or whatever. Today, staying home might mean watching something on a streaming service or listening to a podcast or whatever. You've got so many more, hanging out on Twitch and streaming while you're playing games with people, video games. You've got so many more options now than ever before as far as what you can do at home. And the pandemic, I think another effect of the pandemic, and this part people don't really talk about much, but I think the pandemic, because people had to stay home for a bit, it kind of really acclimated people more than ever to get used to the idea of just being home and just finding things to do at home and not necessarily going out. So now we're in a post-pandemic phase where people have been somewhat retrained that staying home isn't so bad. You would think that people would have a lot of pent-up energy and would want to go out more than ever because they had been stuck at home for a while. But going out, because of inflation, which again is partially caused by the pandemic, supply chain issues, there's several factors. That is one of them. It's become cost prohibitive to go out very much, right? So it's cost prohibitive to tour. It's cost prohibitive to go to shows and go see these different tours. So so the business is changing again. On the optimistic side, I would say this. I think that the current state of things is temporary. Inflation has to subside eventually, right? And I do think that the explosion of people going to see live music, or at least getting back to a level that it was pre-pandemic, I think that will still happen. But it's taking longer to get there than people thought because people thought it would be an immediate thing. If you take inflation out of the equation, I believe it would have been. I believe as soon as we really started to come, and I shouldn't say immediate because coming out of the pandemic was a gradual process and people largely couldn't agree in terms of when the pandemic was actually over. And I kind of at one point just sort of shrugged and said, well, I guess the pandemic's over when the emergency orders end. And then when the emergency orders ended, the federal government said, okay, well, this is ending. Then I said, okay, I guess that's officially it because people couldn't really agree. I do think it's all going in a positive direction. We just had a band in here talking about how they're just out there. They're doing it. I'm sure they're not making a lot of money. I'm sure that band, Dead Reckoning, they're not getting rich out there. That's for sure. I promise you that. But they're doing it. They're making it happen. And it sounds like it's paying off for them. And they're gaining more and more attention. I mean, hell, they got to be on Matt Connarton Unleashed. I mean, no, I'm kidding. Well, I'm not really kidding. But no, but in all seriousness, it was wonderful to meet them, and more power to them. And I do think they've got big things ahead, as does Sepsiss and some of our other friends as well. So that's my assessment of it. But I would have loved to, and we'll have them back on. Maybe we can have them Skype in or call in or something from the road. I'd love to talk to them further, and I'd love to have a deeper conversation with them about touring and what it's like. Like I said, we got into a little bit, but we didn't have a chance to really dig in deep because, they had to get back for sound check. So they've got an early-ish show. But there you go. We will, I do want to say hello to everybody in the Facebook live chat too, because there's a lot of interesting comments in there. But let me give the studio line one more time, or maybe two more times. We'll see. 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007 if you would like to chime in with anything. But let's look at the Facebook live chat one more time as well, or maybe a couple more times. We'll see. We'll see how much time we have It's already 20 of. We're already almost out of show. It goes so quickly. Mike from Queen City Cabinetry in the Facebook live chat and says, good afternoon, everyone. Mike, of course, one of our Queen City Cabinetry, one of our great sponsors here at WMNH 95.3. But Mike, also one of our co-hosts on Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C every Friday night. Archer Flight, we mentioned, is in the Facebook live chat. Miriam Banish, of course, is in there. Let's see, Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont. Jenny, of course, is in the chat room and said, shalom, peeps. Rhonda Favero from the great state of California joins us. Eric Nanarone, I still don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but he did share in the chat room. He's got a podcast called the Nanosecond Podcast, and he shared a link in there to his Rumble channel if you want to check that out. Let's see. Alex Whiteley, of course, our friend from the UK, joining us. William Slamcar joins us in the chat. That might be a new name in there. I'm not sure. I think I might have seen William in there before. But William Slamcar says pollen, I'd say. And I think that was referring to our conversation earlier with Dave Ridley, who sounded like Dave Ridley at one point on the phone sounded as though just an entire big giant ball of pollen had just sort of floated into his face. But then he seemed oblivious when I said to him, Dave, are you sick or is it allergies? He's like, oh, do I sound funny? It's like, dude, you don't hear your own scratchy voice. That was kind of an odd moment, but yeah, clearly his allergies were bothering him. Archer Flight says, hashtag Matt, we're cool and sensitive. Well, Archer Flight, I dare say that's something we have in common. Miriam Banish says, my allergies are bad, but there was some work being done along the road next to work where I was outside walking for a little while today. So much dust flying. Yeah, and it's that time of year too. There's a lot of road construction going on. Let's see. Scott Robinson is in the Facebook live chat. I'm not sure what that comment meant, so we'll skip that. JFed says, oh, my allergies have been terrible this year. Oh, mine too. Mine too. When I wake up in the morning, that's when mine are the worst, and it's just a sneeze-a-thon some days. William Slamcar said, there'll be just a few crazies at Dorkfest. William, not a fan of Porkfest, it sounds like. Scott Robinson points out, again, this is in reference to our conversation with Dave Ridley, changing some of Tulsi Gabbard's mind is really something to hang your hat on. She's not crazy or anything. I think Scott's being a little sarcastic there. Yeah, well, I mean, I expressed my thoughts about Tulsi Gabbard. Archer Flight says, we will be performing on 6/25/23 is karaoke at Center City Park, downtown Greensboro, North Carolina. Wow, who knew? Let's see. Alex Whiteley pointing out, again, this is in regard to our conversation with Ridley. We have more than two parties now in the UK. The main ones are Labour, Tories, Liberal Democrats, and the Green Party. Yeah, I wish we had more than two. I mean, we have more than two parties here too, of course, but you know, like we have the Libertarian Party and we have the Green Party and so forth, but we only have we have the two major parties that it's very much a closed circuit. They kind of keep everybody out. Archer Flight says, we will never go to the place for us, Porkfest. Oh, okay. Scott Robinson says, this is referring to our friend John Hopwood, who called in right after Dave Ridley. Thank God, a voice of reason after all that nonsense we just heard. I like Dave Ridley. I like talking to him. I mean, obviously we disagree on some things, although we agree on some things too. Archer Flight says, hello, hashtag John Hopwood. We say to you from us. Stephen Philbrook says, I miss the ghost of John McCain. Yeah, well, I think that bit kind of wore itself out. But Jenny says 16 is my lucky number. That's because earlier in the show, I was talking about how the number 16 fell out of the ceiling the other day. Out of the satanic portal, I believe. Chris Rose joins us from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Hello, Chris. Archer Flight had some questions for Sepsiss and for Dead Reckoning, but we couldn't get get to them. Alex Whiteley says, I feel like I've just fallen into the WWF Attitude Era. Let's see. Oh, Melanie says in the chat room, this is in our reference to our conversation with Dead Reckoning. She said, I don't want to brag, but I'm building relationships in radio too. Yes, yes. Oh, boy. Let's see. I just want to make sure we don't miss anybody in here. Alex Whiteley says, oh, this is what I was just discussing about the touring. Alex said, there's a great documentary called Artifact, which explained the woes of even the biggest stars in the world versus the giant record labels. This was about 30 Seconds to Mars being sued for $30 million. Oh, yes. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that documentary, actually. That sounds fascinating and certainly right up my alley, that's for sure. But I believe my dad is on the phone. Hello.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? I'm going to be brief. I just wanted to mention a couple of things.
Yes.
But I did want to get a great interview. I've only heard some of it. I'll get the full interview subsequently. But what is the group, Matt, if you don't mind my asking on the air?
Sure.
From Texas. It's so good. They have a female lead singer, and you played one particular song a lot. I wrote it down, but I think I lost the notebook I put it in.
Yes. I meant to text you back about that. The song is called Angel, and the band is Infinity Vein. Yes, that is a great track.
Oh my God, is that a good track, Matt? And Infinity Vein, yeah. For some reason, you know how it is. You know, you're going through all these bands, and I just can't come up with it. So thank you.
Yeah.
What a great presentation. But all these bands. I mean, the band that you saw Saturday night. With Jenny and Brooklyn Mike and the crew. What a great group they are. Yes. I mean, it's like right here in New Hampshire.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and just for the, I wasn't going to mention this, but just for the heck of it, it's an innocuous kind of thing. A couple of times a year, Matt, I'll go on, I was going to say Google. I'll go on Google, but I go on Facebook just to see the 50 states. And this is no oblique comment to Mr. Ribby either, but the 50 states and what ones are getting good reviews. And New Hampshire always comes in number what, you know?
Probably top 5, I would assume.
Absolutely. They're not only top 5. New England states come in top 5 typically, but New Hampshire always comes in number 1. So just something good for people to be aware of. I did want to just call in and mention this is an important day in history. I think it's the 79th anniversary of the Normandy Day landing in France. That was very, very tricky and violent, of course, tragic in many ways, and risky as all get out. They didn't know whether it would work or not. And your grandfather, my dad, made that Normandy landing, and I have a good friend. It's funny how things come around, guys. I was in Southeast Asia. I'm not going to go into all that, but I learned finally not to volunteer, but that's another story. And there I am with a friend of the family who lived in Massachusetts. I forgave him for that, but he lost his dad. He made the Normandy landing in another company from my father's. But he lost his life in combat, like within 48 hours. Isn't that heartbreaking?
Oh wow! Yeah,
it's but a great victory, and we had to stand up to evil. So I just want to mention just 2 other things quickly, Matt. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to honor that day and prayers, whatever your tradition. I asked for prayers for the country and the family. You know. During the landing and subsequently for a couple of days, FDR, who was a great president, I mean, he didn't do everything, right? No president does. We're human. But those were the times in the 40s, of course, that was 44, when he would go on the radio and pray with the American people. And it was considered sensitive and supportive intrinsically and non-denominational, essentially, though FDR was a Christian man.
Mm-hmm.
So finally, on a serious note, I'll end with a positive thing here, but
sure.
Trust me, I'll be brief. But on a challenging note, let me put it that way.
Yes.
And I won't go into all the nuances here. I've talked about this with colleagues today, but so I'm a big sports fan, Matt. I don't know what happened with you with that. Any ideas on that?
I don't know. It just I just never the only sport I've ever really enjoyed isn't a real sport, but
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I was a kid, Matt, of course I wrestled in high school. I got pretty good at it, but that was Greco-Roman wrestling. But when I was a kid, I actually thought that it was real, completely real. And I'll never forget, there was this championship bout between Edward Carpentier. Have you ever heard of him? You probably don't know him, Edward Carpentier.
Why do you've told me about him?
Did I tell you about him?
Yes.
Well, he was that guy. He was from France, of course. He was tremendous. He was athletic. He was in shape. He could do all these things in the ring that were just so scientific and quick and sharp. And so he had a championship match with Killer Kowalski, from Boston. I think he was from Malden originally. And so I said to my friend John Caffarelli, I said, there's no way that Killer Kowalski can beat Edward Carpentier. And yet he takes him 2 out of 3 falls,
Yeah.
And saying, wait a minute. So then they had a rematch. Not to go on with this, but they had a rematch. And it ended in a draw, which of course meant that Kowalski kept the title.
Yeah.
And then I think Carpentier eventually retired early, took his money back. And that's when I began to think, wait a minute.
Right.
I just don't quite believe this.
Didn't
Kowalski had the claw hold?
I was going to say the claw. Yeah, as you know, I got to meet Killer Kowalski once, and he had those big hands. But yes, the claw. That's pretty sus, as the young people say.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, it was funny.
Yeah.
And then I would check into it, and I realized, no, this is staged.
Yeah.
I mean, some great athletes, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Argentina, Rocca. Oh my God, some of those guys. John Cena from our area.
That's right.
So quickly, I've been a Dodger fan since I was a kid. Now, I was always a Red Sox fan. I've always been loyal to New England sports teams, and God, the Pats really brought that in the Celtics. So not this year, although they came back from 3 down to 3 straight back. But anyway, I've been a big Dodger fan, but I will not be a Dodger fan anymore. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I think the first time I actually called your program, Matt, I was concerned about. I had reflected on this, and again talked with colleagues about it. But the rise in anti-Semitism around the world, and you could see it and you could feel it, but also in America, which is really daunting.
Yeah.
I thought we'd come a long way. I think we have come a long way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Against all of that anti-Semitism, but there's a big push now, and I'm not going to name names, except there's a guy in the White House who shows absolutely no leadership on this, and he should be saying something about it. There's a movement, an anti-Christian and particularly anti-Roman Catholic movement in this country that is on a par, in my judgment, and I will say it openly, sportively, and with kindness. It's become on a par now, and I think for a lot of reasons I won't go into, with anti-Semitism in this country and around the world also. But the L.A. Dodgers, I'm not going to name the hate group, but they were going to sponsor a hate group coming up at the end of June. I think it's June 25th, in conjunction with another celebration, which is fine. But the hate group desecrated the Holy Eucharist. They've done all kinds of things, all kinds of anti-Catholic demonstrations and reporting and verbiage that's just bizarre and stupid, but it's hateful. It's intrinsically hateful and undermining of truth and freedom and democracy. And the Dodgers said, so the bishop protested out there in L.A., Catholics wrote in, Christian Protestant brothers wrote in, Jewish people wrote, I think even Islamic people wrote in and said, this is not right, this is a form of violence and hatred. And the LA Dodgers looked at it and said, okay. So they canceled it with this hate group. I could name them, but I'm not going to name them. You can Google them. You may know them already, and I'm going to ask you not even to mention these dopes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the story, so I don't know. I'll have to look it up afterward. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll come right up, Matt. It'll come right up. And I don't connect. This is a hate group. I don't connect them with entertainment and performers who are doing their own thing and not attacking the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean? You're going to see that when you Google it. It's a distinction I'm making there for sure. And I want people to know that. So this is not a counterattack. It's being assertive and standing up for liberty and civil liberties. And my right as an individual to practice my faith safely and with compassion and love for all people, even those with whom I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Putin may be an exception. So they canceled it. Then, of course, they got, and this happened to, I'm not going to mention, but it happened to a band member you like, too. This a very similar thing I could mention, but I won't. So they revisited it, and now they brought the hate group back. So it's like a big finger to those of us in the Christian community who object. And it's not only in the Christian community, it's faith communities in this country have placed this objection right at the feet of the LA Dodgers.
Oh.
And at first they said, we're sorry, you know. But then they got some heat from the other side with a lot of hate, and they said, okay, we're going to bring them back. We're going to do this thing. Well, so who knows? I mean, you know, we've got a couple of weeks, Matthew, so they may change their mind again. They're getting a lot of pressure. But
we got
a CNN journalist asked the secretary, whom I have no respect for, the press secretary, what the president might say about this as a Catholic. Now, is he really a Catholic? That's another story. And she just got in the middle of that, wouldn't answer that question, wouldn't say anything about the president and his leadership responsibilities, and just said she wouldn't get in the middle of that controversy.
Right.
So it's really pathetic. It's unreasonable, and it's intrinsically untenable. If we don't stand up as a community against all hate, then there's something lacking in us, in our character. I just wanted to put that out there for you and the audience to reflect on.
I'll look that up. Dad, we are absolutely out of time, though. We got to go.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. I appreciate the call.
All right. Well, remember D-Day. And thank you, Matt, for all you're doing with these musical groups. They're terrific, but your interview skills and Jenny's interview skills are terrific also. I just want to put that out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Dad. All right, we got to go. Thank you for the call. Love you.
Love you, too. Be well. Bye-bye.
Right, thanks. Bye-bye. All right, that was my dad, Martin Connarton. We are absolutely out of time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dead Reckoning, for coming in, and William from Sepsiss. And they're going to have a great show tonight. And that's it. We got to go. WMNHradio.org, MattConnarton.com. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Television service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA.
It's time to go through